if it does. Happy Saturday and good evening. Welcome to Let's Chat. Today's theme will be vampires galore. I want to appreciate everyone who's joining us on this stream, and I hope you have a good time. As we have this conversation, please chat with us on the chat screen over there to the left, and let's hear what you got to say. I think the theme tonight is there's a lot that we can talk about when it comes to vampires, right?
Oh yeah.
Me nods definitely.
Sure.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna let you all introduce yourself one by one. Let's start with Sean and work our way. Looks like to my left, and say hello.
Why, hello. So yeah, my name's Sean. I'm Canadian. You just call me Sal. Nothing much about me. Just really easygoing. Apparently, I'm a snowflake. What Catnip says, but that's not true. But hey, nice to meet y'all.
My name's Ascendo. More than typically, I'm going to be the odd man out with a lot of random questions, queries, and just anything out of the blue. Just my niche.
I think it's me next, but anyway.
No, it's me.
No,
Okay.
it's you.
I
Okay.
thought it was you. My bad.
I can't tell the orders. I know.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
My name is Catnip. I'm here to criticize people and call Sal a snowflake.
Shots fired.
Well, I'm Milk, and I draw, and also I have a strange love-hate relationship with vampires.
I
So
can't.
that
wait
will
to hear
slowly
about that.
unfold, probably throughout the course of the podcast.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And contrary to popular belief, Milk does body good, right? Milk,
I do what?
you do a body good, right?
Yeah.
No. Oh wait, I shot myself in the foot. You want the logical answer, or do you want some vitamin D line? You know.
Oh, whatever you want to bring to the game.
So this I see.
Well, it seems like your comments are aging like milk.
Boom.
I love where this is going. I like it.
I mean, we're not even 5 minutes into this conversation. This is getting already hilarious. I love it. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna start off. I have my first question already, and feel free. This is not going to be any particular order who can answer. It's whoever steps up first. Alrighty. Now, my question is for all of us, for all you here, your first memories that involve a vampire. What was the first time you guys noticed them? Could be when you're watching a show, or reading a book, a movie, whatever you guys want. Give me your first memory of seeing vampires.
I'm not going to go first because mine it's gonna be like in those talent shows where someone has, that firecrack like magic show, and then the second person just like stands there and says one joke and walks off.
I think my first memorable one was probably the original Blade movie.
Ooh, yeah, those are some pretty good vampires, right? They were kind of a mix of that traditional vampire with allergic to the sun. They turn into dust when you give them a splintered in the heart, and compared to some of the other versions of vampires, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever
Interesting.
seen Blade.
I
Wait,
think
what?
my first exposure to vamp. What was say, Milk?
Milk. Say that
Oh,
again.
I just
Milk.
never seen Blade. I just have never seen Blade before.
Okay, so we are definitely going to have a fun time when we all sit down and do a retro review of Blade with Milk. So
Oh,
listen
Jesus.
later in a couple months, everyone. We will be sitting with Milk because Milk needs to watch Blade. It is a classic.
Both of them
Oh,
are
yeah.
so good.
I haven't even seen The Matrix. Is this a next level up, or is it level down?
This is a level down, yeah.
I still can't believe you haven't seen Blade. I'm about to rip my hair out. Wait, I'm bald. So never mind.
Yeah, there's
Well,
still something
I'm
to
very
grab.
naive. I haven't seen a lot of stuff. I'm like the baby of the group. If there's something there that's people is modern, I probably haven't engaged in it.
I think Kayama, damn it, I
Chimera
can't pronounce
Cub.
shit. Thank you, Sean. God damn it. Yeah,
Of course.
that definition of Blade I think is perfect.
Pretty much, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, black guy hunts vampires, takes no shit.
There we go.
It's. I want to say hello to some of my old friends from Bound in Comics. Hello, Drew. Hello, hi there, and thank you for coming. Kabuto Writer, we all know who that is. Spencer, thank you for coming as well. I'm happy to see you guys here. Hope you guys have a good time.
Yeah. I think my first exposure to a vampire was most likely something like, well, considering I'm from Canada, like French Canadian, a lot of the stuff I got was always translated in French. So Halloween, all those horror shows that translated in French. That's probably, and I don't have a name for anything specific, but yeah, that would be when I got my first experience with vampires, and
Okay,
then of
okay.
course video games.
Video games, give me a game.
Oh, back then, Castlevania.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
That's an obviously good one.
You
I
know
need
what?
to play.
Yes, we're gonna have to circle back to that. I want to highlight Supreme Heretic's answers to his first memory of a vampire. He says it was when he was 12 years old and he looked at the shadow of the wall that looked like a Kate figure and realized it was my impressive member that had a vampiric silhouette.
God.
Well,
I'm
everyone
very
going
happy that I
somewhere.
highlighted that comment. Holy shit. Okay, go back. All right, our Frenchie. Give me some of that Castlevania love. Tell me more about your first experience with Castlevania and your impressions of vampires.
Actually charge.
First experience with that game. Oh my god. I was pretty young. I was really young, so I was horrible at the games. So, and knowing you had to fight like this mythical creature, evil thing that just wants to destroy everything, felt kind of terrifying back then, especially on the NES.
Yeah, those
The
pictures
NES
were no
days.
joke. Oh man, I'm gonna show how old I am. Holy shit. Okay,
I just
for me.
showed how old I was. See,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna definitely beat
I
you.
I, I know.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna beat you like like you stole something, but it's definitely gonna have to be an old AMC Bela Lugosi movie that I saw. I think maybe in the early '90s when it was on cable, not cable, but like a rabbit ear channel TV. It was like a Saturday night, and I think I was maybe 5 years old. That's definitely my first memory, and holy shit, that was fun. Like I think that's when my love for horror started, and it got much bigger as I got older. But damn, it was definitely the Bela Lugosi Dracula. And if you guys don't remember, I don't know how to end share shit. Okay, if you, it's one of the most iconic Draculas out there. I mean, seriously, you Google Dracula, and you're most likely guaranteed you're going to see a Bela Lugosi Dracula. He encapsulated that look, the way he moved. It's kind of the way that Sean Connery kind of encapsulates James Bond. It's like 40 years afterwards. Alrighty, so who hasn't given me an answer yet when it comes to vampires?
Catnip.
Me.
All right, Catnip, what do you got?
I don't remember what this movie's called because I never got the name, but it was when you and
Sorry, I had to play appropriate.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Just wait in the background. Just don't make me again.
it was that movie you and Mom would watch where they're at the bar and then some vampire outbreak happens and this guy grabs like one of the chair legs as a cross, like makes a cross into it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was at the bar.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That is John Carpenter's Vampires with the one and only James motherfucking Woods. If you people have not seen John Carpenter's Vampires, and if you're not smart enough to like it, then I suggest you get some vision correction and watch it again because it is a hell of a movie. That is the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to give a shout out to that movie. It's like one of my favorite movies. We watch it at least once every year as Halloween gets close. And yeah, Chimera Club it is ridiculous. It has one of the best openings and the best part. Catnip, since we are in the Southwest, that movie primarily takes place in the Southwest. So just goes to show you that you never know what's underground in the fields here. All right, we have one more person left. I'm looking at you, Mr. Marco.
Mercale, yeah. First exposure to vampires? I'd have to go with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Well then, that's an interesting choice.
Now,
Yes.
holy shit, that's a very unique answer.
Very.
Okay,
I love it.
Can you expand on that a little?
Well, the main antagonist of most of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is Dio Brando, a 19th century Englishman who comes across who is transformed by one of the main objects, the stone mask. It's a mask that when exposed to blood will transform a person wearing it into a vampire.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh, and it was also created by a pseudo-vampire statue being. Specifically the Pelican.
You know, that's actually pretty unique. Now I'm gonna have to watch that anime. To be honest with you,
Actually, I started watching it a little while ago and just can't get enough of it.
Well, shit. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's really all over the place, but if it's your kind of wild take on things, then you tend to get sucked in.
Okay. You know, that's actually pretty cool.
It can lose you very quickly if you're not careful. So it's one of those things where you have to be very keen to keep up on it.
Yeah, I can hit you up at some point and we can probably watch it, stream it somehow.
Actually, sounds kind of fun. I will say, Marco, that's by far I think the most unique answer I expected out of the entire group. I was expecting something wilder from everyone else. That was actually really cool.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
God damn, that's
yeah, I remember that.
The dance scene. Am I right? Come on, don't fucking leave me hanging, right, guys? The dance scene, everyone in the audience too. am I gonna have to beg out here?
Oh Lord!
Just a little bit. You're gonna have to.
Oh, you suck, Catnip! I swear to God, I'm gonna go harm your Catnip now. Okay.
Take all the catnip.
I'm
I
gonna
know, but I didn't technically go. For me, my experience, my first experience with vampires was it wasn't a character or anything specifically, but so when I was little in elementary school, I had a friend whose name was Rachel, and I guess we were friends, but she really kind of also wasn't my friend to some degree, and so we went to library together, and she knew I had a fear of blood, and so she went into the fiction section, and she found this graphic, detailed book on vampires that included them piking people, and there was I think I blocked it from my memory mostly, but there was a scene of some guy in a wheelchair and his neck was just splurting blood out, and she opened the book and started chasing me around with it until I was horrendously freaked out. And so next time I went to library, I hid in the bathroom, and the next time I hid in the bathroom, and the next time I hid in the bathroom. And so books have just become very unenjoyable for me since that, and that was my first experience to vampires.
You know what? That I'm glad you brought that up, because one of my favorite memories, and we'll go down this a little bit further, but it was the description of Dracula and Bram Stoker's novel when
God, the one where he had the butt wig, the white butt wig.
when Jonathan was in his room after the Count took him to his guest room, and he looked outside at night and saw him crawling like a lizard on a wall. The way he described it was so much better than I'm describing it right now. I imagined it, and if you all watched it, the Bram Stoker movie from '92 with Keanu Reeves, I think they did that scene almost perfectly from the book, and for me, the book scares the shit out of me more, just the way it was described. But yeah, that was awesome.
Is that the movie where the first few moments when you start watching the movie, there's a red sunset, there's a war, and then there are people on pikes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the moment I saw the pikes, I traumatized out.
You know what? Take a shot of whiskey, whatever you got to do to relax. it's worth it. I mean, even if you're not a fan of horror, Bram Stoker's Dracula is cinematic masterpiece. It is a work of art. I will say the way the filmography, the way the film is put together is beautiful.
Kind of a timeless classic, and it kind of keeps its like holds its own through all the years.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure it is. It's just A, Pike's terrify me, but 2, his wig is funny, and 3, what is it? The Bella Lugosi, Dracula. He's like the first Dracula I think of because I guess that's just something I saw when I was younger. You know the quote handsome one.
He's beyond handsome. So I think this is a good transition, everyone. Do we have a favorite vampire? Does anyone have a favorite vampire that comes to mind? Is there one vampire that, when you think of vampires, that's your damn vampire right there?
I think I would have to say Kane from the Legacy of Kane series. Like, just the way they portray them, so royal and so overtly intelligent, yet so vulnerable, is very odd. Like, their portrayal of them takes away from everything that all those other famous portrayals bring to the table, while still yet retaining a lot of the major flaws and characteristics of them, while putting them in their own kind of isolated universe.
We definitely got a fan of that answer right now in the chat. Kane, you know what? That's actually a good answer there. Interesting. I'm really new at this. Sorry. All right, who's next?
I go with the Dracula from Castlevania, especially with the animated series that came out a couple years back.
Not Alucard.
Classic.
Not Alucard, no, the actual vampire, the actual Dracula. Alucard's
fair.
cool. He's cool. He's badass. I understand. I understand the love towards him. It's just I kind of just really like the pure anger he has towards humankind after what they pulled off on him.
Really.
I
And
mean, what is a man but a miserable pile of secrets?
exactly, there you go.
That animated series is beautiful.
Oh, the animated series is, I can't get over it. I keep watching it. Put it on I just always have it in the background as I do whatever. It's perfect.
All right, good answer. Good answer. Alrighty. Do we have another answer to that question? Anyone?
I do. I have 2 in particular. One, hold on. Let me show you one of my favorites.
But I'd have to say Dio is also a very interesting one because of all the memes.
I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see this one. Okay. It's this one. It's from Monster Legends. Can you see it? Hold on.
Yep.
There she is. Her name is Vampire Astral. She's a vampire that's been enhanced by a substance known as cosmic stardust. It's the remnants of a star that exploded thousands of miles away from Petra, where Monster Legends takes place, and has been empowering all kinds of monsters.
Definitely gives me an anime vibe, personally.
That's interesting.
Awesome.
Comic book vibe for me. I like it though because that gives me the whole comic book vibe, the way they would treat vampires.
Well,
I feel an
she's
RPG vibe, like an enemy you defeat in the castle.
she used to be a member of a band and is a known raver. The other one, hold on, let me turn off my share screen, is Serana from Dawn Guard.
Oh, Skyrim.
Yeah, That one.
Nice.
Everyone fanboys, fangirls, Serana. That's for damn sure. I have not. It's been 20,000 years, and the memes about that has been epic, and they're still
I mean,
so good.
we're talking memes. Does Lady Demetriou or whatever her name was?
Lady D.
Democrat.
She does. Oh God, we have some Sims for Lady D in here
You
for
you,
sure.
you
Mhm.
leave you leave our fair lady out of this.
More like double
Called
D.
it.
The Lady
Yeah,
D
she
needs the D.
counts.
She counts.
She counts because she has a blood virus, and that's why she needs blood and stuff like that. It's all in the lore.
Another
Alright.
good vampire that I've just remembered and that I actually really like. Morbius in Marvel. That guy, that was a good vampire.
I like the origin story with Morbius as well, and how they tied it in with Peter. You know, it was very parallel the way Peter ended up getting his powers from a spider and Morbius from a bat. That was another good one. All right, okay. So who's up next? Anyone else? Am I the last one yet? Ascendo, did you go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
the-
was the one who.
Oh yeah,
talked about,
Kane.
yeah.
yeah.
Sal, you said Castlevania. How about you, Milk? Did you go?
I
Yeah,
did. I did not. I don't know if I have a favorite that anyone knows except for probably Catnip. But no, there's this anime. It's called Diabolical Lovers. Shut up, Catnip. And like, if I had to say a favorite vampire, his name's Reiji Sakamaki, and he's this like, what is it? Cynical, sarcastic, cold ass vampire butler type character that I enjoy role playing. So I guess if I had to say a favorite vampire, I guess I would have to say that.
All right.
I do
good
not count that
choice.
as a valid answer.
All right, good choice. I'm about to rotate Marco out for a minute. I'm going to bring in Supreme, and we're going to be rotating you guys out back and forth for the answers. Alrighty?
Okay.
All right. So give me 1 second. If just use the link again if something happens, but I'll be bringing you guys back in. All right, Mr. Supreme, Heretic.
What's up, man?
Welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. Now,
Token Asian is in the house.
Token Asian definitely is in the house. My brother, I love that you're here. Thank you for being here. But you must answer the question. Who is your favorite vampire?
I'm sharing the screen. Bring her on up, boys. Let's go.
Can I add it? There we go. Oh, hot damn.
Oh,
Yes. Agreed.
I mean, how can you not simp for Celine? I mean, that's just
Oof.
that's it's like I'll simp for her till I hit the grave, bro.
Is this from this
you won't be
blade?
hitting the grave if you're caught
I
with
think
her.
it's Underworld.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep, Underworld series for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
wow.
a damn good one.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, so Celine was awesome.
Yeah, Celine definitely was amazing. Holy shit, that was a damn good choice there, Supreme. Okay, can you give me a little bit of why?
I mean, well, like, good God, through the whole movie, dude, she's just like, and this was back in when Jorge we had like still like good fun action / crossover horror movies where it was like she was organically badass. There was no like, look at me, I am woman. It was just like Celine's a badass. And that was one of the things that really drew me to her, and the natural like leadership that she had, and she had respect from a lot of people across the different clans because they knew that, like, okay, we ain't gonna mess with you.
All right. You know, I like that. I like that answer a lot, Drew. I think that's actually really damn good. Okay, I'm gonna bring mine up. Let's see if I can share the screen correctly. It's the first time I'm gonna do it.
Make sure it doesn't show. It shows one of your monitors since you have multiple.
I'm doing it right. There we go. Can you see that? Can anyone guess who
Okay,
that is? Never mind.
Akasha.
See that?
Akasha.
Yeah.
Akasha. Gotta have
Akasha.
Akasha too. That was hard for
Yeah.
me to pick between Celine and Akasha, but I was like, Celine all the way.
I'm gonna tell you right now why. Akasha.
Because Aaliyah is
Because
hot as
vampires.
hell.
No, you know what? That's already that's a no brainer. If you don't think Aaliyah's hot, I don't give a shit if you're human, non-human, if you're goddamn space Martian, if your name's Marvin motherfucking Martian, if you don't think Aaliyah's hot, you obviously have brain damage. But back to the point.
Romeo must die. That's all I gotta say.
Right. There you go. The reason why I like Akasha the character though, because it to me represents what a vampire is. Ruthless killing machine. Not something that, ooh, I brood, I'm gonna be emo and listen to The Cure. No. Akasha is a ruthless vampire that killed her own mate of thousands upon thousands of years because it interested her. Right? You can't tell me that's not a brutal thing to do to someone that you've been with since the pyramids were put together by the slaves. She represents what a vampire is in my view, which is a very brutal creature that does not give a goddamn about you crying or begging for mercy. Nowadays,
Jorge, you
in writing,
said a restricted word.
I don't care.
That's very non-PC of you, Jorge.
Oh, don't make me flap my wings and get over where you're at, man. But that's my choice. That is my choice. I'm gonna quit sharing screen somehow now. Yeah. There we go. Everyone.
Don't we have to call them unpaid interns now? We can't use the other word.
You know what? I'm gonna start doing that now. Unpaid interns. Okay, so I'm going to Drew. I'm gonna remove you first. Well, never mind. I guess he is not here. Well, when he comes back, I'll bring back Markle. But our next question is: now that you have your favorite vampire, pick another one from a different medium, preferably the opposite. Since we had two from video games between Ascendo and Sal that picked Castlevania and Kane, respectively. Do you guys have vampires from, I don't know, manga, book, or films that you look at and you're like, God damn, this is something that's really cool?
I had already said Blade because I definitely just love the way he does it.
Why? Break down Blade for me, Ascendo. What's up? What is it about Blade? Because I think I know where you're going with this, but I want to hear it.
Just the way he doesn't really attract the actual fact that he's a vampire, more so that he portrays himself more like a mix between a Ronin and some vigilante. Just trying to do right by the people as well as trying to keep himself alive due to the needs of being a vampire.
Ooh, that's good. Do you guys remember the part in Blade when he was meditating before that hybrid plant that he had? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just mentioning that right now because it does play into the Ronin aspect of the character. If you guys don't know, the plant represents the duality of Blade because the only way that plant can exist is as a hybrid of two completely distinct species of flowers. Naturally, they don't occur in nature, only when you splice them together. So I'm glad you added that in. Now, you have a hell of an eye there, Ascendo. A lot of people didn't catch that.
It's definitely one of those obscure aspects of his character portrayal.
All right, anyone else? Catnip, you've been quiet. I'm gonna toss the baton to you, Catnip. Give me another vampire.
All the ones that I was gonna say, all the ones I was gonna say are already taken, but I guess I'll go with Lady Demetrius.
Don't talk now. I'm getting played by what's up.
Yeah.
Tell your phone to stay silent, and don't worry about if anyone else is taking the choices. It don't matter. You guys can repeat it if you want to, because I guarantee you that you guys are gonna have different reasons.
Ideologies you can explain about.
Yeah, but I feel like Lady D to a certain degree. I like her daughters way more than her, but I do like the new Resident Evil vampires, even though it's like They based it off of because they have the certain blood disease that they have to be vampires, or like the special virus that they got infected with, which is a variant of the mold, made it so due to some of the health issues and a blood issue, they have to drink blood, which I'm all for that, to be honest.
Cool, cool. Milk, Sean, you got an answer for me?
I kind of do. If I have to pick something that's the opposite of anime, which is probably real life, there's this. What is it? I don't know why, but I was in high school and there was this movie. I looked up. I don't know what I looked up, but so there's a movie called Lesbian Vampire Killers. And this one girl, and she's like really hot. Oh, I know her name. I'm such a himbo, but that's my answer. Lesbian Vampire Killers, the movie.
Well, I guarantee you, Milk, you just gave everyone here some homework for cultural purposes. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll provide the popcorn.
I like mine caramel. Thank you very much.
What? You like caramel? Dude, I like to, what is it? When I get my popcorn, I take it over to like the butter machine and I douse it in butter. And then I put on the weird powder stuff and then I like mix it up and I douse it again. And I put
Holy shit,
it's, you know, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
You know what? We need to watch Lesbian Vampires and eat popcorn together. I think we'll have a hell of a time.
Okay, I suppose I'll borrow some of your caramel. And
It's
I say
okay.
caramel.
Not
Is it
everyone-
caramel or caramel?
Not everyone can be perfect. It's all good.
Perfect.
Only caramel lovers
Caramel.
are perfect. All right, who's next? I got at least two more people. Wait, yeah, two more people. Sean and Markle. Who's next? Give me a vampire from elsewhere you haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to remember the name. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. No, it's not. Basically, I play a lot of Warhammer. And with all that's been going on in that series, in that game and everything, there's been a lot of new stuff coming out. And there is a faction of vampire. And when I saw those things, I was like, this is interesting. And there's some lore that came out. I'm not sure of the lore. Like 100%. But there you go. Lady Anika the Thirsting Blade. That vampire has been very, very symbolic in the series from what I know so far. Design wise, you can really have the bloodthirsty, no fucks given, I will rip you in half vibe, and that is exactly what she does.
I like that. You know what? That reminds me of my Leah answer for her character. Because I love. To me, that's what a vampire is, right? Kind of like a werewolf. They're supposed to represent the primal aspects of human nature. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind a story having a protagonist that is, you know, of those mythical variety and be, you know, and kind of be human, but at the same time, that lacking humanity, I think, is what makes him interesting. All right, Marco, I think you're next, and then after you're done, Marco, I'm gonna switch out with Drew again, and then we're gonna go back and forth this tag if you don't mind. Eventually, when we grow, we will definitely chip in the cash for the upgrade of this service, so we don't have to do this. So, Marco, take it away.
Vampire I haven't mentioned. That I'm going to have to go with. Gosh, what can I go with? That's a good one.
Edward Cullen.
No. I'm not doing a series as a girl choosing between bestiality and necrophilia, thank you.
Hey, you know what? Some people have fun hobbies, man.
Check out the fan fiction.
Oh, God, no.
It's a hobby of mine. I love cringe.
That's gonna be hard.
I don't know if everyone can see this. That is how that vampire looks like.
I just put it up, Sal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
That's kind of hot.
So it's portrayal of a.
Oh, shoot, hold on.
Or
think I
vampire
have
should
one.
be like.
Meta?
But yeah.
I like that. Nice. Thank you. I think Marco, I think you got your stuff. You ready?
Hold on.
I'll put back a lid for a second.
Oh, wait, I know. Vamp from Metal Gear Solid 2. What?
Vamp from Metal Gear Solid. Okay. No, you know, I'm sorry. I had a brain fart and it took me a whole second to like, wait a minute.
That's a very obscure one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I'll be forthright. I played the games. I have, but I think the last game I played was a long time ago. And I'm talking about
Wasn't it like
last time.
2006 or something was the last
Yeah.
one you played?
Well, the last time I played Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation 2 was the Hot Machine. So it's been a long time for me.
Yeah, so probably like 2003, 2001.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen for you, Markle, so everyone else can see what you're talking about. Alrighty?
I looked
Okay.
him up already, and he's pretty hot.
All right, there you go.
I approve of the single edgy little wave there in his hair.
The Lone Rebel, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Cool. So there we go. Marco, I'm gonna switch you out with Drew now. Drew?
Okay.
What the fuck? What am I doing? Hold on.
Technically,
There
I
you
would-
go, Drew. You're up and going.
I would say I would count my ex-fiance since he sucked the life out of me for 3 years. But since I can't really count her, I would probably say like God, I can't remember the actual character name, but there was this one vampire, and I was exposed to this when I was rather young. So like the one from like there was this one in Salem's Lot, dude. That just the original Salem's Lot that just really like messed with me big time, and the other one that I could think of is Dark Shadows, Barnabas Collins, bro. Remember Barnabas Collins? Come on, Jorge, you gotta know Dark Shadows, man.
I'm trying to remember Bartimus Collins. Hold on, Dark Shadows?
Yeah, Dark Shadows. It was a TV show.
Hold on. Oh my god, no way. Yeah, here we go. Hold on, everyone. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Okay, can you all see that?
Oh,
Yeah. There we go. Yes. Holy crap, Drew! You literally pulled it. Wow, that was a heck of a time warp for me.
Classic, bro.
It's been decades since I've seen this show.
But he was good. He looked damn good.
He did. You know what? I think, especially with the bone structure right here in his cheeks, and then the way his nose kind of cones out right there, he has the whole vampire aesthetic like laid down really well.
Yeah.
Even in color, like right there as he got older. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, damn, man. Wow. Ooh, that was some good stuff, Drew. Holy snap.
Oh yeah.
I
Bro.
like this conversation. That's awesome. Anyone in the chat, give me some vampires that you like. I would love to hear.
Oh,
But
that
okay.
reminds me. There is a show I watch. What We Do in the Shadows, since the previous title had the word Chaz in it. It's like this comedy that's based off this actual movie. It's really fucking funny.
Well, now I'm gonna be on a Google searching thing tonight because of you, Milk. First lesbian vampires and now shadow something. Well, shit.
They're
Thank you.
both very enjoyable.
Oh, I bet they are. For very different reasons. I'm okay with that.
If Don was here, he'd be ringing the bell.
I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to our next question real fast, and I think it's wait, did I give you guys my other vampire?
I don't think.
I don't think so. No.
Wow, what a loser! I'm such a loser being. Okay, so
I don't know.
think,
I still want the link to your OnlyFans though.
if we can get at least a few more subs in our YouTube channel today, I'll send you that link, buddy. And hell, I'll even send you a referral so that way it's only free for you, bud.
Oh
damn.
yeah.
That armored
Oh baby.
In my
I smell
OnlyFans,
favoritism.
in my OnlyFans, the otter is not armored, and it's all fur. All right, so my another vampire I honestly like would definitely have to be Grandpa from the Munsters. Anyone other than probably Drew or Sean? Do you guys remember the Munsters?
Oh, I remember Grandpa. Yeah.
That rings a bell.
What?
I remember Grandpa. Grandpa was great.
Oh man, Grandpa was awesome. He was dirty too.
Yep.
Here, I'm gonna pull him up right now.
Dirty old man.
He was like Grandpa didn't give a fuck, man. He was like, his fingers are gonna find something that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, look at that, Grandpa. He was a man of culture. You see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He don't care. And that's
Look
not
at
the
that,
bathroom,
play
ladies and
goals.
gentlemen.
Shit.
Yeah, he's right there in their kitchen. That's where the kids are eating right now, and they're seeing Grandpa looking at some Playghoul. He's looking at some zombie stuff. He's looking at Werewolf Tale. He's looking at everything.
Dude,
All right.
the chick that we wish was a vampire, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
God damn, dude, she hasn't aged. Like I saw a recent picture of her. She's like in her 60s. I'm like, what? Is she a vampire?
She probably is, considering she's never changed.
She's got to be sucking on something because like she's like on the fountain of youth or something.
Whatever she's sucking on, it's working.
Mm-hmm. She's a guilt, bro.
Oh yeah.
I got to
be
get to
like-
the next question. So, if you guys all had the choice, right, to either be a vampire or not, would you choose to be a vampire or not? Now give me your reasons why.
What kind of vampire are we talking about? Or what abilities
I'll
are we
be
including
nice.
in this package?
In this package, it has to be decently known. All right, so you can't give me something obscure like the
Laser
vampires from
eyes.
Papua New Guinea that shoots lasers out of their dick holes and they fart rainbows. None of that bullshit. I need to know
Okay, because that's gonna go.
whether or not. Yeah, no,
Oh, then I'm
that shit.
out.
I
Then
don't
I'm
want no
fucking out. If I
bullshit.
don't get the dick lasers, I'm out.
I was gonna go with stuff from like Vampire the Masquerade, the D&D stuff from World of Darkness. I was like,
oh yeah,
shit,
man,
if I have to go there.
Masquerade. Ooh. I want the new game to come out so bad, but so
I think
low.
the
Yes.
constant
Give it a
blood
while.
drinking would just be a no for me in general, just because it would get tedious after a while, especially if you have to spend your entire eternity doing that. It's like eventually you're gonna have to come up with some system to kind of figure that out, so that way you don't have to constantly do it, whether it's by working at a damn blood bank or something else. But that sounds like it's just a tedious chore.
Yeah, that's true. Because also you have to keep moving because people get suspicious if A, you don't age, and then B, with all the media around and just how people can post shit, it's it's one of those situations where you can kind of get captured and experimented on.
Yeah. I think I'd pass. I'd probably pass for some of the same reasons right there. It's just it will get tedious. It will get very, very annoying to some degree to always constantly have to hunt.
And eventually, with the evolution of technology going forward, the whole magic aspect would eventually become for nothing if they could just eventually figure out some way to identify, track, or do whatever XYZ thing to eradicate you as a threat.
Oh yeah, and humans will
Spending
definitely do that.
centuries watching the people get stronger and evolve, it's only a matter of time until something happens.
No, I definitely feel that. And there's also the component too, aside from survival, of the whole your friends will die, your loved ones will die, you'll have to live your life entirely alone. Does that
Yep.
component get to you guys at all? Or is it more just the survival component?
I mean, unless you spread the curse too, but then that's the case of spreading the burden to them as well. So it's a catch-22.
That's true.
Well, I mean, what about the idea of, limited illness, vulnerabilities? I mean, that's a lot of fear and stress you've basically removed from your life, even when you add in the vulnerabilities. I mean, do you think that doesn't kind of sweeten the pot a little?
I mean, I'm already vulnerable to light as it is. I don't want to experience the full package.
That's fair. Okay. Who's next? Who wants to take the dive and tell us whether they take the bite or not?
Oh, would they take the bite? Like, are we talking about just the bite, or are we talking about
You know
the?
what I'm talking about. You gotta take the bite and you gotta suck some of that blood.
I see. It's a hard one for me because I do kind of like the idea of, if I was immortal, I could learn all the skills I want to in life. I could create whatever I wanted to create. I could potentially influence like tons and tons and tons of people with my powers and my ability. Like I do like the power aspect of it, but all the practicality with the emotional losses and the impact on my survival, because times and ages and advanced upgrades. I think that would be the only issue, but I do definitely like the power aspect.
All right, that's a good answer, and I'm gonna highlight Spencer right there, who basically says what I think everyone for you just mentioned. You kind of said right there, right? You just want the powers, and pretty
Yeah.
much none of the other negative aspects, right?
Okay. Also, I think personally for me, it would be really fun to actually, okay, if I have the power to make people forget short-term things, then like if I bite someone and for some reason, the FBI doesn't show up, like maybe I'd be a little bit more enticed to take the nightlife.
FBI, open up.
They couldn't catch me if I was a vampire. So, super. Okay, we'll include super speed in there. Then I'm good. If it was like if I was a vampire, I'd be a city vampire. I'd live in a fucking penthouse, and I'd have like a harem of chicks and guys, and I'd like go out to nightclubs and shit, and I'd have like my own private dungeon and just like
Pretty much like one of
live
those.
the sexy high life. But then I feel like too, it's true that would be boring after a while.
Pretty
Yeah,
much like
that was
one of
another
those
thought for me.
vampirs.
Like, it would get boring after a while, especially if you have an entire eternity to just do this. Like, you would be bored a lot of the time.
Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna go grab something to eat.
Is it
Later,
blood?
If only. Okay, I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna grab Drew real fast. All right, who hasn't answered yet when it comes to whether or not they take the bite and they suck the blood? Just blood, nothing else. Perverts, and of course, make that bond. Who is next on answering?
I'm not just taking blood. I'm just saying that right now.
I think it's me, right? Me and Drew, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, you want to go first or shall I?
No, go ahead, bro.
I'll be honest. Fuck it, I'll do it. I would not only let them bite my neck in a very sensual way, which would make me very nervous because, I got a 50-50 shot it being a dude or chick. But I'll also suck on that blood, that nectar, and become a creature of the night. Because you know what? Fuck it. That's why.
No regrets.
That's my reason right now. Why the hell not? Life's too short. And as you get older, I'm going to pull out my cane and rub on my beard now like an old man. You get reminded way too much of how fast life goes, right? And you're like, shit.
It's true.
As a vampire,
Especially with me calling you a dinosaur.
Yeah, because you're a dick, catnip, until I kick you into catnip.
I mean, at the same time, while having all of that copious amounts of time, it just seems like after a while, the novelty and the value would just kind of get taken away, and what it means to actually live life would be devalued after a while from just having infinite amounts of it.
But that's if if you could actually live as long as you think, because just because you have new limits on your mortality doesn't necessarily mean you become immortal, right? You're not. Popular to contrary
I
beliefs,
mean,
vampires are not immortal. They can die,
Oh
and in
yeah,
all
they
likelihood,
age.
they're gonna die. I mean, it doesn't
they
mean I'm
could
gonna live
die, but
forever. It just
it's not from natural causes, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
you would intentionally have to either get yourself killed or die in some very
well,
painful and spectacular way.
I'm sure, and I'm assuming that I'm gonna suck on the wrong lady, suck her dry, probably do other things that if I say out loud, I'll have the FBI helicopter over me, and they're gonna have a brother, a father, someone who's gonna smoke my ass. So I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight it way before I get bored. I don't know, man. I'm fully confident that Vampire Otter ain't gonna make it to like the year 99 billion. I'm gonna get smoked within a couple hundred years. I'm okay
I
with
don't
that.
know. You seem smarter than that.
All right,
You
Ooh.
sure
couple
about that?
thousand years. At least let me, get some of that sweet, sweet green, slushy like nectar from the Martians, and then I might get smoked. We'll see.
It's the vampire weed. It's the green Martians.
I'll be worse than Kirk in Star Trek. Like I would be seducing the goddamn green blobs. Like, hey, baby,
God, the
you want me?
slimes.
I'm gonna make you into another three-dimensional shape a couple times.
If they
All
really
right,
fit in the mold, then.
damn right. I would fit them in some mold. All right. All right, Drew. With that, I want to know: would you take the bite? Would you suck the blood? And would you become a creature of the night?
No, I would take the bite, man. And I'll tell you why, because I would be the Patriot vampire, okay? Yeah, I'd be the vampire that beat the globalists. And just for that, I want to be a vampire, damn it. I'll outlast you, globalists. I'll beat your game.
But when you outbeat the
Holy
globalists, then what?
shit. We got an Alex Jones vampire up in this joint.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Honestly, after I beat the globalists, I would be like Jorge. I would just be rolling around, like getting more ass in the toilet seat. No lie.
Oh, you know what? I'm stealing that line. I'm gonna become a regular Hollywood producer, and I'm gonna steal the fuck out of that line. I'm gonna get more ass than a toilet seat. God damn, that was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Like
Drew.
that.
Classy.
Chimera is already breaking out the wooden stakes. All right. Oh man, these answers are amazing. Marco, when you're back, you let us know. All right, so we're gonna move on to to the next question, and this is a free for all. I honestly want your opinion, everyone. Do you think vampires in some way or another are real, or could be?
Yes.
Give me a reason, though, Milk. You can't just say
Give me a
yes.
reason. Well, I mean, if you want sociological realism reason, which of course you do. So like there are communities out there that actually identify as vampires.
Well, yeah, but
Wow.
those people are effing nuts. Okay.
There's actually a disease that makes you drink blood, too. There is a disease that makes you drink blood.
Is it?
Okay, so we're gonna go for
I've heard that.
the
But
disease
I mean,
thing. Okay.
if you want to go for the natural answer, yes, there are vampires, and I'll explain it. It's very simple. There are folks, energy vampires out there, and this is a thing. And I know this from and I'm going to get into the metaphysical here, but being as a person that has my third eye open and understanding auras and energies, yes, there are energy vampires. So there is a form of vampirism, and it most definitely comes in the form of people that are energy vampires. Like they will literally suck the entire positive energy out of you, and they can be detrimental to your health. I mean, you can have adverse health effects from prolonged exposure to these people, because you're being drained of your energy every day. and it's not the same as being drained of blood, but it still has an extremely adverse effect on you.
So didn't you say that like one of your exes was actually an energy vampire or something like that?
I was
No,
about to ask the same thing.
she was just a bitch.
Oh,
So it doesn't. I mean, she just.
Holy
But
shit,
she,
we're doing some zoology up in this joint. All right, Drew,
but
you're
she
like
just,
the croc hunter.
but she just like sucked the, the soul out of you. It was just like, oh god, but no, this is a serious thing. If you look up energy vampires, you can read up on this stuff, and it is 100% a real thing.
have you seen like what I guess with your third eye? What do they look like?
Oh, it's just like people that have auras that are kind of off. So that's one marker that you can tell, and then because usually people's auras are of one pure color, and these people will have aura that's off, or it'll be very, dark. It won't be as bright as the average person's aura, so you can kind of tell. But energy vampires are a real thing. Hope, I love you. My girl Hope, love Hope. But yeah, the thing is that is one of the telltales with people like that, and just like, a lot of people find out that they're around an energy vampire. Like the most common way they find out is usually in the workplace, because these people, so often turn up in a workplace setting, and you come home day after day after day, you feel drained, but you don't understand why, because it doesn't seem like, well, you put in the normal day. Maybe it was a late day, but you're extraordinarily drained. You don't know why. Well, it could very well be that you've been exposed to an energy vampire.
Yeah,
Are
actually
these
interesting.
people's energy vampires' personalities like in a way? Do they use their aura to drain, or do they use their personality? Would you say?
Well,
Or what the
it's
personalities
just
of these
it's
types of
just
people?
it's just to a lot of people, they don't know. Like there are energy vampire people that are energy vampires, and they don't even know. So they're not even sometimes aware, and they'll just be in there and causing all this havoc, and they don't even have any idea that the epicenter of it all is them. And that I think is the freakiest thing about this phenomena. But yeah, I urge people to read up on it, look into it. Energy vampires are a real thing. So yes, in the roundabout way, technically vampires are real.
All right, well, on that note, Sal, Asando,
See,
Catnip, have any of you experienced anything that is related to what Drew is talking about? Like, have you dealt with people who've sucked the life out of you?
I have, as a matter of fact. That it reminded me of the old days when I worked the airport job back in the day, which
And was
was
it the
my
same
super.
person?
It was that same person, like that. My supervisor back in the day would just simply, I don't know, man. I'd go in fully charged, hyped as
And was it
heck,
like,
and no, man, I just
well,
died. I didn't had energy at the end of the day.
was it just his physical presence, just him being around you, or
Yeah,
was it
just
his
being
words?
around. No,
Wow.
just being around. Yeah, just being around that person would like physically
Interesting.
drain me. I would be like, this
So,
is,
so
I
it sounds
can't
like what you're.
deal with that person.
So, Drew, that sounds kind of like what you were saying earlier, right? Just proximity. Drew. Okay, I think he stepped away. Alrighty,
He did.
Asando, Catnip. How about you two? Have you experienced people as described so far by Drew and Sal?
Yeah, but I think in the case of that, for me, it's just more so the interaction with people rather than just their aura or anything of the sort. Just the
All
things
right.
people say and all the things people do have a lot more impact on the emotional and metaphysical mentality of people as a whole.
Thank you.
Because you have to process and channel those thoughts to interact and react to those events and incursions. So
Interesting.
it's
Okay,
more metabolic than it is spiritual, at least in my opinion.
okay, so you're seeing it from more from a physical
Scientific aspect than
sense,
anything.
like chemical reaction with the brain having to deal with stress and the anxiety of crowds and people, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so catnip, how about you?
Yeah, but I don't really want to get into that, like the reasons why. But I have dealt with some very draining people, and it sucks. It's not pretty fun.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna get us back on track on the existence of vampires in general. Got Milk's opinion. I've got Drew's opinion. Sal, do you think vampires are real, or at least could be real?
They could. I believe they could. I mean, they are supposed to be very sneaky, hard to detect at night when everyone is asleep. So not being able to fully like see them is one thing. Not having the encounter with them because most of us work during the day or do anything during the day. So I believe they would be around. It's and like Drew said, like there is that aspect of energy vampirism. That is, and being one person who's actually kind of experienced it in a way, I totally believe that would be something that could really be relevant.
Jorge,
Absolutely.
I think I might
Yes.
have to. I think I might have to bounce. So
It
thanks
was
for
wonderful having you, though.
letting me jump on. Yeah, Vito is starting up his stuff again, so I might
Yo,
have
let me know if you need
to.
anything. All right.
I might have to drop a reply maybe here.
You know what? Drop it like it's hot. If you need anything, let me know. Alrighty.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on, bro. I appreciate
Dude, it
it,
was good
man. You
having
know,
you. Thank you.
you're my boy, homie. You always are.
Same here.
And
You my boy too.
nice meeting everybody on the panel. Uh,
Likewise,
so
Yeah.
yeah, just try and stay positive. Don't inadvertently drain other people's energy away. So, all right, guys, I'm piecing it out.
see ya.
Later, Gator.
Peace.
All right. So, Sean, you
See.
you were pointing to you do believe, and I like that you brought what you were bringing up about how conniving they are according to legend, right? Vampires aren't stupid. Can we at least all agree on the panel, everyone, that vampires aren't dumb? They're intelligent, very intelligent creatures, right?
Indeed.
Mostly.
Alrighty.
It depends,
Now,
honestly. If it's like the because it technically was a vampire virus, and I am Legend, then
all right. Well, that's a good point. Now we can debate whether or not they're vampires or not. That's a great point, though. That's kind of like a man-made vampire. But have you all noticed that we have a lot in the United States, and just like Canada, we both nations have a lot of national parks, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of space, right?
Indeed.
Yep.
All right. How many people do you think are missing right now?
From national parks.
No, just general in general,
Like straight up just like missing people.
just missing people.
More than we can
Uh,
probably account for.
The United States or like in the entire world?
Just give me the United States.
Okay, let's go with 6,000. That's pretty low.
I go with
10,000.
I'd probably go with something in the like. You know what? 50. I'll go into 50,000. I'll go high Might be totally off the charts, but hey,
All right,
go hard.
I'm going to pull up the FBI's record right now, and I'm going to highlight. Let's see. No, this won't let me highlight. So you're going to have to kind of
Oh,
squint your
yeah.
eyes a little bit.
It's the FBI list. Why the hell would they allow you to share that?
Because it's public record.
Okay.
Statistics are public records. We know. And if you look at the third line, entries, 609,275 in the year 2019. That's in a single year, ladies and gentlemen.
Dang.
Oh wow.
I'm going to repeat that
Are
again.
those reports?
609,275 individual reports.
And that's just in the U.S., right?
Just in the United States of America alone.
So this wouldn't be a phone call where like, oh, my 14-year-old son is missing,
This
and then he
is
comes back
a
the next
file.
day. Yeah,
This is
okay.
people
This is the FBI
filing
shit.
with. Yes, this is the people filing with their local departments, state and local. People going missing. Even
Damn.
if most of them are, let's say, even how many? Let's say half of them are found. That's still over 250,000 people. I bring that up. Why? We have a lot of space in this country. If anyone knows any people from Europe and you tell them that you drive 5 hours for a concert, a lot of times they're like, WTF, mate, because that's literally going from one country to another. We have a lot of space in the United States. For us to have that many people go missing every year, and generally a lot of these bodies are never found, that's telling me they're going somewhere. And I'm putting on my tinfoil hat right now. I deduce that it may not be vampires, but there's something out there gobbling people up. Whether it be vampires, werewolves, or Eskimos, there's some mythical creature out there that is consuming people, either whole, partially, whatever. And that, I believe, is explaining at least some of the numbers why people are going missing. Thus, the possibility of vampires being real, I think, is true. Say half you.
What makes you think it's vampires in particular? Like, why can't it be, I don't know,
Because
the
I think
sewer monster, for example?
Because I think Aaliyah's hot, and I just hope they look like her, not the sparkling fox.
Okay,
That
what
was
about that? Kind of sounds like it's like what's the movie Cabin in the Woods? How the governor, like, the government or whatever, like a secret organization, sits in their little office and strikes these little challenges because they need blood sacrifices for like certain
That could be
periods.
another thing,
Yeah.
right? We don't know. I mean, can we all agree? Over 600,000 people every year going missing is a shit ton of people, right? I mean, that's just a lot.
That is way a staggering number.
I mean, that's like a top 20 city in this country going missing. Just everyone in that city is disappearing every year. That's just nuts, man. So, yeah, I think that can be real. Hell, I think there are other mystical creatures that are real. That's part of the reason why I go by the Armored Otter, because God forbid, and people know my real name. I don't want to get put away for that. But I think there's something out there that's a little off about our world, and that we think we know a lot more than we really do. So that is my reason why I think vampires and maybe other creatures are real.
Like that's 93 times the size of my town right there, just disappearing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a lot of freaking people.
That is a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyone else have theories about vampires or vampire-like creatures being real or fake?
I suppose just to elaborate on like people who identify as vampires, from what I've been told, or like some people that I talked to, like I guess so. Some people identify with the vampire culture, so the culture alone, meaning like how they dress, or like a gothic look, or how they carry themselves in public, or how they carry themselves in private as well. And usually, these types of people have some kind of component that really about themselves that really identifies with anything that's vampire. Also, typically they spell vampire differently. Instead of the IRE at the end, it's usually a YRE, just to distinguish from the usual fiction vampire. And I know some examples of like some forums I was reading and stuff about like how this it could be just total bullshit. But stuff like about how like a woman is like how she always had these like all these health problems and was like sensitive to the light and everything, and the doctors always could never do anything about it. But then she like started to get these cravings for blood and like took the blood from someone and drank it, and then all her afflictions were cured or something like that. And while I'm very science based but also kind of open minded, it's stuff like this that help people to, I guess, find their identity with vampirism. Or there are some people too that are sensitive to light. They at night they feel certain cravings, or they feel certain needs, or they have, like I said, like werewolves and vampires are basically playing on human instinct. And so they can identify as vampires through their own instinct or wants or needs or desires. And also, just one more thing to add on that too, there are also groups of people who identify as vampires who also consentfully take the blood of people who volunteer, who are of age, that are called donors. And so they'll have rituals where they take the blood and they drink the blood of their donors. And supposedly it's actually a very pleasurable experience.
That's interesting that you said that, because you're right in that one respect, and we'll go through each point right there. You're right. I mean, vampires, werewolves, for the most part, these legends are metaphors for natural human behaviors, right? That primal, instinct, lust humans tend to have, that we feel, that are just our emotions, that a lot of times, especially in society, we have to kind of I wouldn't say temper away, but we have to be
repress,
very,
or
yeah, be careful in the way they're expressed. We can't just let the genie out of the bottle all the way, right, Milk?
let the genie out of the bottle all the depends on which space we're in, I suppose.
Yeah. So I see where you're going. That's interesting. I think that's because you're coming at a more cultural view, people adapting to created cultural norms, because all cultures have to come from somewhere, right? None
Yeah,
just
definitely.
magically appear. So this is a newer culture that has developed over the 100,000-year-old lore of vampires, and it's becoming its own thing. And that is what you're identifying as, an example of something coming to life and becoming real. And I think that's pretty interesting, because you're right, in a way that's kind of like making your own reality, right?
Pretty much. Or just
And
being the way you are and then using it as a label to, attract
yeah,
other people that are think the same, or I don't know.
well, I say that because Buddhists and other Eastern thinkers, they tie a lot to how humans look at reality, and the power that we have in shaping our own realities.
Oh
Our
yeah.
minds kind of shape our perceptions and whatnot. And I think that's a pretty interesting example of it, because you never know what it could turn into 1,000, let's say 100, 200 years from now, right? A culture that right now you just described, people within that vampire community that's budding right now, 100, 200 years, it could be something big, something small, or something in between, and it may not be recognizable, right?
True. You never know.
Exactly. I mean, we can't predict this. So that's actually pretty interesting. I think I don't know. It makes me think that, do you guys think that certain other mythical creatures would be able to manifest that way as well? I mean, Catnip, you brought up the
Mm,
vampires from uh, I Am Legend, right? That those are vampires that were created by science, by a virus. Zombies in some movies, right, have were created by a virus. Can't we see a man-made version of a werewolf or something along those lines? It doesn't have to be man-made, or something with a virus, but a culture, community, people who identify with that animal spirit, or the idea of the animal spirit.
I mean, I definitely think those types of people exist who definitely identify with something that's definitely not human.
Okay. What say you, Catnip? Do you think what do you think of the prospect of artificially birthing that sort of a mix of culture or people, whether it be through science, or, as Milk was explaining earlier, people identifying with those identities?
Um, I don't. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just kind of like a person who's like, do whatever you feel to feel valid or correct in the world. I know those cultures exist. I'm more based on science myself. Like, oh hey, the blood drinking virus, stuff like that. I don't know.
Hey, you never know. You
That's
know
just like,
what? Human alterations, we're seeing very early stages of it, right? I mean, you're showing me people doing piercings and having tattoos and whatnot. We don't know how far these alterations are going to go, especially as technology is becoming more and more prevalent with these alterations. People not only dyeing their skin or in their eyeballs, but also restructuring their bones.
Oh, that's what you're
Right?
talking about. So stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, what
Right?
is it? I have this guy at my work, who's actually really into that kind of stuff. Weirdly enough, he identifies well, he's a human. Like everyone's a human, but he inwardly identifies as an alien because he always felt different or whatever. But he does think that he told me about something in which he's always into all these big science things, and he told me about something in which science is getting to the point where you can kind of analyze parts of the brain, so you can identify like phantom. It's like phantom limb or
Phantom
something like
sense.
that. Phantom sense, like for example, like someone is born without, and like someone who's born with both arms loses an arm, and then they go and use this machine or check the brain or something like that, and the brain still thinks it's there, and so you can get all these treatments for in order to help that person who lost their limb still feel like they have that limb, 'cause they have sensations like that limb that isn't there is like cramping up or something like that. So you have to take a mirror, look at your other arm, and then fix that arm so the mind sees that you're fixing the non-existent arm that's there, and then like the mind cramp goes away. And so
Yeah.
apparently he tells me that some people who are born not supposed to be having like a right arm or something like that, their brain will already feel that when they're born. And so even though they have a right arm physically, if you look at the screen mentally on the machine or whatever, you can kind of see in their brain that the brain doesn't really relate or connect with their right arm. He's into stuff like that. And it's always very interesting to listen to.
Yeah, I think so as well. I like the way you kind of bridged the gap between what I said and you said, because you know you kind of hit it pretty well right there. I'm thinking about people saying, what, fuck it, I'm going to be a
Bird.
I,
I want to be an angel with wings.
yeah, I want to alter myself and get and shave my teeth and shape them to be how make my canines more pronounced, or I want to use lightning dye to make my skin paler. You're right. There's a lot of very interesting things people can do to kind of reach those identities now, especially as technology is progressing. Right? They
Yeah,
can
definitely.
do a lot of stuff with your body now, whether or not depending on the part of the world you're in, but generally, especially in the West, I mean, I think most people really don't give a rat's ass as long as they don't got to pay for it.
You should look at this guy's channel. His name's Anthony Padilla. He used to do Smosh or something like that, and he
Yeah,
does tons of interesting interviews with all these different types of people. People identify as like vampires with the ID, identify as other kin, or he'd talk with the furry community. He's talked with all these interesting people, especially those. Particularly, he has a video where he talked with people who do extreme body modifications in order to fit what they feel and feel inside themselves who they are. So I think you'd be very interested in those videos. Actually,
Share that with me in our Discord, and that way I
yeah.
can
I'll share the
grab it.
particular one with you most definitely.
I've
You are
watched
awesome.
his videos and they are wonderfully. He does such a wonderful job at actually making everything make sense on stuff that's not really been like explained so far. We can say.
Okay. I like that. Those sort of like investigations into mysterious stuff is kind of cool, especially when they're not looking to try to give you a definitive answer. They're willing to admit, I don't really fucking know, but we're gonna look at it and figure it out. If not, fuck it. I like that sort of thing myself. But that's just me. All right, well, let's kind of move on and look at another question that just kind of came to my mind. We were talking about vampires from manga, anime, video games, books, and movies, and I was wondering. I've had a very nice, diverse set of answers from all of you, which I appreciate. I gotta ask you. out of all the powers, which one would you pick? Like, if no strings attached, guys, you don't got to worry about sucking someone's blood. You don't got to worry about someone puncturing you on your neck or wherever. And you don't got to worry about being allergic to the light. You just one day see a note beside your bedstand that says, "Congratulations, asshole. You got so and so power from a vampire. No strings attached." Which power would that be?
What defines a vampire power exactly? Since there's a myriad of interpretations.
It's got to be, like I said before, it's got to be a well-known vampire. So well-known vampire powers: turn into mist, turn into a bat, summoning weather, stuff like that. Right? Super strength, some speed.
Like super tenacity. Some of them are like super tough.
Super tenacity, invulnerability, regeneration. Stuff like that. All right, it's got to be aspects,
pyrokinesis,
powers of a vampire that are known in well media. I mean, this has got to come from characters, Asundo. That if you were to say, I want to be able to be a pyrotechnic, and I could point to this vampire clan or this vampire story, it's not going to be something that I gotta like really research. It is something pretty well known that isn't hard.
I don't know. Regeneration or turning into mist both sound interesting.
Why? Just pick one or two. But just tell me why. I'm very curious about those two. I wasn't expecting from you. I was not expecting any of those two at all.
Regeneration, because being able to take earth-shattering amounts of physical damage, any kind of inflicted pain, even if you're still going to feel the pain and it hurts like a motherfucker, being able to recover from it with little to no outside assistance sounds incredibly useful.
Okay, I love the reason behind it. Okay. Anyone else? Catnip, Milk, Sal? Give me a power that you'd take.
I'd probably aim for the mental manipulation.
Ooh.
They are capable of doing such feats, which is
the power to compel people, right?
Yeah, compelling people. Like you see it in like you see the people like in the movies, like you just look at them and like hypnotize them and just like, okay, now you're now my victim. You're not gonna fight back. Now I'm just gonna suck your blood, type of deal, where the person just starts being
take the wallet.
weak. Yeah,
but exactly.
You can go to so many other like lengths with that kind of stuff. They're just like barely scratching a whole thing right there. So being able to manipulate people, you can just be like, oh, look, I don't want to do this thing that can possibly harm me. You know what? Fuck it. You're gonna right there. Do this.
That's actually very interesting. I mean, I don't think, especially in new media, and if you guys don't mind, correct me if I'm wrong, but we really haven't seen the power of compelling people used that often, right? In like newer vampire lore.
Not much.
I mean, I can't really remember it. I think the last time I really can remember seeing it was maybe Bram Stoker's Dracula '92 with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. But I can't really like look at modern movies or a TV show and look back and say, okay, I can see a vampire compelling someone.
Yeah.
All right.
If I look at it, if I think about that, well, the bigger one again, the bigger moment I will see this thing being used is again Vampire the Masquerade, the tabletop game, the D&D setting. Playing it, I've seen it happen, and that game literally explains vampires to a very, very big degree on like, this is what a vampire is. You know that thing about garlic? That's not true. It just weakens them. It doesn't kill them. So
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I'll try to find I think I have the books on my hard drive. I'll see, and I can probably send it your way. You'll probably like that.
Alrighty, Milk, Catnip. Are you all ready, or would you like me to go ahead?
You go ahead.
I'm ready.
All right, Milk. I saw that was a heck of a volunteer wave, so please
Oh
tell
yeah.
me. Tell me your power.
Okay, I'll pick only three for now because those are the only ones I can think about. Yes, to regeneration because while I probably don't really want to be immortal, I think because of the things we discussed before, regeneration would definitely help in terms of me living a good, fulfilling life in my human life. So, and then the second power, I definitely also agree with the hypnosis or charisma. But at first, I thought that being human, you kind of want to. I kind of don't want to cheat and kind of want to, go out of my comfort zone and pick up a charisma book and build my own charisma. But I feel like that can only go perhaps so far if I, want to get like a sexy penthouse and like have tons of people and have influence and power. So the mental hypnosis would come in handy. And then the third power I'd have is transformation because that's something you can't do as a human. You can't do transformation as a human unless you put on funny costumes or something like that. But so yeah, definitely transformation because then I could fly if I want to. I could just because like with the superpowers, flight is one of them for vampires. But if you just transform into a bird or a hawk, that covers it. You can experience what animals would supposedly feel too, and that unlocks a whole other opportunity. So I guess that's just kind of my three.
I like your answer, Milk. I love that you broke down the three, some more than one or two, and why. Catnip, how about you? You ready to rock and roll? Or
Yeah.
all right,
Um,
tell me. I want to know. Give me your power.
uh, I would probably really like to turn into a bat because I like bats. They're pretty cute.
So the power of transportation. What the shit?
It was transportation for them.
Transformation. Yeah, it is transportation. Thank you, Sendo, for saving my
It
rear end.
is.
Turn
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a
it is.
train.
So basically, the ability to shapeshift into another creature.
Yeah,
Why? Just because to do it? I mean, what is it? I mean, out of all the powers, what is it just about that ability to shapeshift that you like?
I like the aspect of like if you're able to shapeshift, which some vampires are able to take forms of others, and they're also able to be bats, or they're able to be this certain animal. Because I've seen like even like different animals and stuff like that. I always like the power to shapeshift because I feel like if everybody wants to like do invisibility or learn how to fly and stuff like that, I feel like shapeshifting can fix all those problems. Camouflaging just turn into something like chameleon. If you want to fly, turn into something with wings. If you want to, you know, I don't know, swim and breathe underwater, you could turn into an underwater animal. So
Yeah, I think on that term though, when it comes to shapeshifting, the fact that it's so broad, it's one of the most broken powers in terms of power scaling because you can physically do anything, become anything. Within realistic expectations, since we're on the subject of vampires, I think it would be mostly limited to being a bat as it is, or other creatures of the night that resemble vampire aesthetic,
Yeah,
just because
Yeah, well,
it's
wolf being one of them.
overwhelmingly, incredibly powerful in terms of what it could do if it
I,
didn't have a handicap.
yeah. I think
True.
if I remember correctly, not so much scavengers, but wolves, bats.
I think to some degree they also go like crow or spider. I think
Yeah. The
something.
Can
mist.
we add snake to the list?
I think they can turn into like a mist or a fog as well.
Yes, they are capable of misting.
But mist.
Hey
Mist.
man,
sorry.
I'm gonna create words.
Sorry, that just made me laugh.
Rats. They can turn into rats.
Yes.
A rat, and I think a stag or large deer. But I mean, that's really stretching my knowledge right there. Which, as Catnip and Asundo will tell you, it can be quite stretched at times.
Which is fine.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to tell you all my power.
Thank
It's
you.
not any of y'all's choices that I can remember, but I like the idea that tenacity, the ability to be faster and stronger.
Mhm.
I love it. I love that the ability that they have. Basically, you kind of become a superhuman in a way, right? You're stronger than the muscle mass that you have. You're faster than the tendons naturally allow you to be. So you become kind of an apex predator version of a human being. I love the idea of that. Being able to outflank someone, out hit someone, out grab someone, out throw somebody, or worse. Um, I guess makes survival much easier. Doesn't make you invulnerable, but it does make survival much easier in my view. People are less likely, to mess with you, and you're also more likely to get yourself out of sticky situations. What do you guys think?
I mean, this brings up a question I have for you now. Then, what if it came with the caveat of affecting you physically, your visage changing, altering,
Okay,
other things, your
so
body being
so
morphed or disfigured by the actual change
so
of
my aesthetics would
that?
change, and my physical appearance would suffer. And so you mean like in a negative way, Sando, that, and I'm not gonna get cute, right? I'm not gonna look like a good looking Stephen Hawking's in the chair. I'm gonna end up looking
Like,
grody,
for all
right?
it matters, you could end up looking like a damn liquor with your skin all more amorphous or something.
Okay, that sounds
Oh my
hot. Okay,
god.
now I know what to think about later in the shower. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's a really good question. Would I still take it? Yeah, I would. Why? Because she won't say no, or kids say no, for one, and for two, who can stop
What
me?
about your boss?
What about my boss?
Your boss gonna say no?
I wasn't talking about my boss. I was talking about the ladies. I'll put the sensual and the non-consensual. No, I mean, I
That's
think I'd still
great.
take. I think I'd still take it. I mean, you know what? It's a new experience, right? And at the end of the day, I mean, if you guys are blessed enough to reach a certain age, we're all gonna look like either a sack of balls or a raisin, right? That's all you're gonna end up looking like, a sack of potatoes or a raisin. So if I had to take it,
Kidney.
or there you go, or a kidney stone. So if I had to choose and choose that and look like a liquor or worse, fuck it. I'll take the liquor so that way as I get older I can still kick the crap out of people and be faster than everyone else. I'm okay with that choice. So it looks like what we learned today is the armored otter is possibly a sociopath. He would be a vampire. He doesn't care about eating people, and he doesn't care about looking like a freak. That's awesome. Thank you for coming to my therapy meeting.
Hey, pleasure's all mine.
Yay.
Alrighty, okay.
I need the copay. You owe us all a copay.
I appreciate the copay. I appreciate that. All right, so let's do some rando talk before we wrap it up. Any final thoughts about vampires at all?
I've had a biting kink since I was in middle school. The end.
Hey
Okay.
there.
Why only since then? Come on, man.
Okay, no.
Rookie
I've
numbers,
been
you gotta
called
boost those
out.
up.
Yeah, rookie
Yeah,
numbers.
just a funny story. So I had a crush on this girl in my middle school, and I watched a stupid anime called Vampire Night, and that okay. Aside from some weird stuff in the anime, like the biting is literally a metaphor for sex. If I can say that on this podcast.
I've said
That's-
fucking cunt on this podcast. I think we can handle sex.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's literally a metaphor for sex. Like, she gets her blood drunk and drank. I don't fucking care. But it's a fucking shower scene, and she has this guy she's interested in who's interested in her back. She's like, oh no, I can't tell. I can't tell him about this, and blah blah blah. So young me watches this shit, and I have a crush on this girl, and so I go over to her and I start nomming on her neck every single fucking homeroom.
You're kidding me, right? Wait.
No,
You actually do this in
no.
school?
Yes, I've actually done that in the Catholic school.
How the hell did you not get expelled?
I
What is
don't
your
know.
power? Will you teach us?
Yeah.
I would love to go
I
back in
don't
time and have this
know.
power right about now.
I don't know, but I would just do that, and then I do it to her wrist too, and just for some reason I never knew, but she had a
Jeez.
crush on me for 7
Dude,
years.
if I were to
all
do that,
throughout middle school and
I would
high
have been in
school.
prison for years.
we
like-
were friends. Question. Maybe you should make some more friends.
You know what? You don't need to bring the light my lack of social standing with other humans, you dick. All right.
Oh
Anyone
yes,
else?
but
Give me some vampire love. Anyone else?
We just need like an actual good mediation of vampire. Not having some of those like preteen bullshit anymore. We need real bloody.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about. The vampire from Queen of the Damned. I think, the over reliance of humanizing vampires was a major mistake in entertainment. I'm with you on that, Sal. I think it was bad. It was done very well in Bram Stoker's Dracula because it tied it into Dracula's backstory. With the suicide of his beloved. I think that was done very well. Nowadays, it's kind of like every vampire is on the rag, and it's extremely emotional, and that's not very enjoyable to watch because they went from being an immortal killing machine to just being something to make a joke about, right, and laugh about.
Because a vampire is just that brutal. I must feed. Go move out of my way, and who's next?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with kind of highlighting that struggle to maintain some sort of fragment of your humanity. But I think a lot of modern writers have really laid on the crutch, especially because of the explosion of young adult fantasy, to just make them into handsome, misunderstood, brooding boys. It sucks, right? I mean, we don't. I kind of want to go on an Edward Hunt right about now because of that. It's made the allure very lazy. When you look at the vampire now, what the running joke for like the last 15 years is sparkle, sparkle, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, anyone else before we conclude? All righty. Well, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to do this. Hold on.
We're holding.
Do you want one more weird middle school fact?
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I tried to take a nail file to my canines.
What?
I know, right?
You're shitting me, right?
No, I think I did when I was in middle school.
All right. Well, I'm gonna finish this podcast now with that note, Milk,
Beautiful.
with the 3 sisters from Dracula. If I can get this goddamn window to come up faster. You're welcome, everyone. That's how we're ending our episode tonight. Enjoy the visual aid. I am the Armored Otter, joined by my cast and crew here. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Today.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you for joining us on our weekend stream. We will be returning to Wednesday night, starting next week. I think that should be the 5th or 6th of July, where our next topic will be announced well before then. Remember, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. They ate a child, but look how beautiful they are. I would feed them a child. Our next topic will be announced. We will start announcing these topics a little bit sooner, like probably at the end of each stream from now on. Don't forget to subscribe and like this stream. And this channel will be releasing new content, reviews, more video game footage as well, and whatever else we can come up with. If you guys have any requests, you can message this channel, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. This is the Armored Otter for Lazy Otter Productions. Thank you to Sal, Asando, Milk, and Catnip. Have a great night, everyone.